Today on the Charge Up, men's basketball looks to stay hot down the stretch. Women's basketball tries to stay in the playoff hunt. We'll recap baseball's exciting weekend in Myrtle Beach, and we have an exclusive interview with new women's volleyball head coach Christa Cooper. It's all coming up on the Charge Up. Hello everybody, welcome to the Charge Up. I'm James Cassidy, and with me today is Devin Maida, Christy Geronimo, and Ethan Cardona. What's going on, everybody?
It's great to be here.
Great weekend in basketball.
And baseball opened the season.
Here we go, let's get to the action. Men's basketball defeated American International Saturday 79-65 for their third straight win. Guys, what do we see from the team over the weekend?
We saw 5 players reach double figures in points, which is great to see. That's one step to victory right there. We also saw them go a perfect 17 for 17 from the free throw line, so that's key because they are free. Please make them.
Yeah, go back to your point about all 5 starters getting in double figures. It's the 4th time they've done this season, and they're 2-2 in those games. So they've had success when they've done that. So it's great to see them keep doing that.
Yeah, it shows the ball's really spreading. You see Elijah Bailey finished with 23, Kesley Felser 18. All 5 starters can come in and produce for you. You're not relying on one player to step up and score 30 for you. This isn't the NBA. We're here, they're spreading the wealth here, and it really helps lead the team on the offensive end, but also on the defensive side.
So, as we've seen with that even scoring, but along with that, we saw that this team's defensive side is actually really stepping up in these last couple of weeks. What did you guys see from the defense?
Well, the defense really was spectacular on Saturday. They held ASC to 40% shooting in the second half from the field, and then 27% from 3. So it was great overall defensive performance by the Chargers.
Yeah, defense is going to be huge if they want to make a run in the NE10 tournament. As we always say, in any sport we talk about, is defense wins championships. So it is right. But I also noticed they dominated in the paint. They dropped 40 points in the paint compared to the 26 that AIC had. So that was a really good performance there, right? Being dominant in the paint, so they didn't have to just rely on their shooting game.
Yeah, and definitely being able to lock down on defense can help you. It'll help transition into good offense. You're able to block shots, have players go out and transition. Not only that, you have steals. We saw last week a great steal by Derek Rowland. He just picked off a pass and ran it down the floor and threw it down. Plays like that can get a crowd going, which can help build the momentum in games. And going into the playoffs, they're going into tomorrow to close the season. They're playing Lemoyne at 7:30 at Charger Gym.
Huge.
After that, as of today, Lemoyne is in first place in the division, followed by New Haven and Adelphi. So with a win tomorrow, the Chargers will clinch the 1 seed in the playoffs. Winning if they lose, they'll drop to the 3 seed, and they'll have to travel for the first round of the playoffs. And with a loss, but if Adelphi also loses to AIC, we'll be able to gain the 2nd seed and still be home for the quarterfinals. So It's big. Defense and offense both need to step up in this game against Lemoyne. We lost to Lemoyne earlier in the season when we traveled up to Syracuse to play them. So we need to make sure we handle business tomorrow night.
Sounds good. Men's basketball will close out the regular season Tuesday when they take on Lemoyne at Charger Gymnasium. A win would break a 3-way tie for first place in the NE10 Southwest Division. Tip-off is set for 7:30 p.m.
Women's basketball won a nail-biter Saturday as they defeated American International 55-52. Guys, what do we see from the Chargers after this exciting win?
Well, it was a great game for both the offense and the defense for the Chargers. We had Michael Warmack, 14 points, 17 rebounds, and 50% from the field shooting. And then we have Alex Kerr, as always, stepping up, 21 points, 7 rebounds on the offensive end to lead the Chargers offense. It was a close game, and ironically, we talk about them not hitting their free throws, but it was 1 on 2 free throws by Alex Kerr to put them up by 3. And then AIC had a last-second buzzer beater shot, but they missed it. So it was an ironic game. It was a great game, and it kept them in playoff contention.
Yeah, I think you saw from the ending of that game, it really preaches what we've been talking about all year of how important free throws are.
Yep.
Because what happens if they make one of those 2 free throws and then that girl hits the buzzer beater?
Yeah.
If that's a 3, it's for the win.
Yeah.
Yep.
At least if they made those free throws, even if she hit it, you go to overtime. You haven't lost that game. But I think the fact that it was such a close win that did come down to the last shot, I think the team should be able to wake up from this and know that they're still in the hunt. They're in the playoffs right now. They need to make sure they can step up and, fight their way through the playoffs and fight for a championship.
Yeah, those free throws are huge, especially when they've been struggling to shoot threes like they've been. So you need any kind of points you can get, especially the free ones. So good job by them, and I think that's a good win based off of winning on the free throws. So that boosts confidence just for your free throw game, which as we know and we've discussed, it's huge in winning any game, especially when you get to the playoffs.
And honestly, I think, as you would mention, we all mentioned before that the three-point shot has not been this team's key in any game, really, this season. And I think seeing performances like Michael Warmack's this week of a double-double again this season, the paint is going to have to be where this team thrives. Like, we have to see great performances from people like Michael Warmack, Katia Oje, and even Alex Kerr. We've seen her. She loves to drive to the basket. We're going to have to control the paint in these games going down the line if we want to see any kind of success, I think, from this team in the NE10 tournament.
Yeah, going off that, the defense really stepped up as they held AIC to only 4 points in the third quarter, like they did against St. Rose when they held them to 2 points in third quarter of the game previous. And then rebounding, too, they really stepped up. I think AIC they were top 5 in rebounding, and we out-rebounded them the whole game.
Yeah,
so
it was 48 to 28 rebounding-wise, so that's huge. A nice 20.
Yeah, and giving them
rebound
second
gap.
chance points, putting the ball back up, and just generating offense off of that when they've been struggling from 3.
Yeah, being able to do that is huge. Michael Warmack, that was her second game in the last 3 that she's had more than 15 rebounds. Those are absurd Russell Westbrook stats. And she's really stepping up. Being able to grab those boards down in the paint, being able to, again, get back in transition, be able to get second chance points. We talk about they're not great with threes. If we miss threes but grab rebounds, we have other opportunities to score. And that's going to be huge because this team is going to have to go into the playoffs and fight. They're currently in 4th place right now, ahead of Southern Connecticut. So what needs to happen is the way the playoffs work is the 4 seed in our division will play the 5 seed in the Northeast, and vice versa. The 4 seed in the Northeast will play the 5 from our division. So tomorrow when we play Lemoyne, we need to come out with a win because that could be the difference in whether or not we have to travel and whether or not we get home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs, which we know going on the road to a team like Merrimack or Southern New Hampshire, that could really hurt us in the long run.
Very true.
Yeah, I think they lost to Lemoyne the first time, right? I think, they had a good first half against them, but then they struggled in the second half. So if they can turn that around this time against Lemoyne, I think they have a good shot at beating them.
Women's basketball will close out the regular season Tuesday with NE10 playoff implications on the line. The Chargers will face off against Lemoyne at Charger Gymnasium. Tip-off is set for 5:30 p.m.
Chargers baseball went 3-1 down in sunny Myrtle Beach, defeating Felician, Concordia, and number 19, St. Thomas Aquinas. Guys, what did we take from the team this weekend?
A whole lot of offense, a whole lot of great ball being played, and it was nice to see the production the offensive production made up from the loss of Joe Keiko, who was the monster last year for the Chargers, along with the rest of the team. But they did more than enough to compensate for the loss of Joe Keiko, so that was nice to see. And we saw some nice pitching performances too.
And I think the biggest thing about making up for the loss of Joe Keiko was that we saw that offensive production come from pretty much every spot in the lineup. It wasn't just one guy that really went off this weekend. It was a combined effort from the baseball team this weekend to just they saw a ball, they hit it out of the park. Honestly, it was every other pitch was just home run, dingers.
Yeah, I think. When I was going through after games looking at the press releases, I kind of had an audible gasp every time I looked at it. Just the run support that came through for this team this weekend. They had a run differential of plus 25 in their 4 games. They beat a nationally ranked team 17-1 against Stack on Saturday, and then went out the next day and beat Concordia 14-7 and hit 7 home runs. Freshman Hunter Bogue hit 3 home runs for the Chargers last night, and it was absolutely absurd. He went 5 for 5, 5 RBIs, 3 runs scored. This team absolutely went off, and it's a great way for them to start the season.
And they were like, Oprah, you get a dinger, you get a dinger, you get a dinger.
And not even just talking about the home runs. In that game yesterday against Concordia, we had 23 hits, which is the most we've had in a game since 2013. So they weren't just getting home runs; they were just getting hits one after another in that game. It was going right back to that. Oprah, you get a hit, you get a hit, you get a hit.
Yeah.
It was honestly insane to just see 23 hits from this team. It's incredible.
There was 8 players with 2 or more hits in that game. That's
Crazy.
insane. Like, can't even fathom that offensive production.
And we already had an Anytime Player of the Week and Rookie of the Week too in Hunter Bogue, but the Anytime Player of the Week was Matt Chamberlain. He had 588 batting average, 10 hits, 13 RBIs, and 4 home runs. And it's just crazy. He definitely didn't leave his bat at home.
No, he did not.
They had that long road trip, but he did not leave it. He put it in his bag, and hopefully it comes up to West Haven when they come back.
A lot of video game numbers this past
Honestly.
weekend for the Chargers.
Yeah, I think you mentioned the pitching. It was the pitching was pretty like spotty at times, but because of the run support, they got that support and they were able to get the wins.
When you have 2 games where you score over 12 runs, I don't.
Life's easier.
Yeah.
Life
It's
is
a lot
life's a
easier
lot
as a
easier pitcher. So.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, and hopefully they keep this run production up and the pitching, and it all comes together soon. Baseball will return to the field Tuesday as they take a road trip to LAU Post. First pitch is set for 3 p.m.
On Wednesday, February 13th, Director of Athletics Chris Palmer announced the hiring of women's volleyball coach Christa Cooper. I sat down with Coach Cooper to discuss her thoughts on taking over the historic program. So, Coach, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Welcome
Thank you
to
for
the
having me.
university.
Thanks.
So what were the reasons that brought you to the University of New Haven volleyball team?
Sure, absolutely. There was a couple of reasons, actually. When I got into collegiate coaching, I knew that eventually being a head coach was a big goal of mine. And after some of my experience at all levels in the NCAA, and most recently my experience at Ferris State, I knew that I would prefer the stress of taking over a winning and championship level program because I do think it's a different stress, whether you're rebuilding a program or in charge of maintaining the tradition of a winning one. And so when I knew I wanted to be a head coach of a winning program and the University of New Haven opened up, I knew that this was a job that I wanted to pursue and I'd be excited to get. So.
Nice. So you come from Ferris State in Michigan, I believe.
Yes.
So you guys have been to your last 5 conference championships, winning them. You've been to 2 Midwest regional finals. So what do you think that, you have a history of success and you're coming to a program that's so storied for winning in Division II volleyball? How do you think that will help you in your transition here?
Oh, sure, absolutely. I think that it helps that I understand the postseason and I understand how a team needs to tackle the postseason. I also understand that it takes a lot of work for a program to win for that many years. It's definitely not by luck. Luck runs out. It's not by chance. And you have to maintain, obviously, refilling the roster every year, getting the girls acclimated with the system every year, and then continuing to get better. Not being, nope, can I restart that? Not being content with the success that you've already had. Always trying to push for more. Always looking at, okay, we're the best here, but who's the best there, and how can we reach that next level of success?
Okay. So when did you officially start at the university, and have you gotten a chance to meet with the team yet?
Oh, sure. So my first day was last Wednesday, and I was able to pop in on the team workout that day, so that was kind of my first day. I did meet the team on my interview, but that was the first day seeing the team in action working out. And then we had our first team practice on Friday, and we've been going with individuals since then. So we've gotten a little bit of volleyball touches in since I got in here. That was super important.
So what have you seen? I know you've only had 1 practice. What have you seen and compared to the film that you watched of the team before actually getting the job here?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So a couple things I've seen is their ability to make a change. So right away in practice, I observed a few things that I had seen on film, just kind of what they did in serve receive, what their offense kind of looked like, how they moved off the ball. And so in watching that film, I knew that there were some things that perhaps we were going to look to change and look to enhance. And so in practice, though, what you can't always see in film is kind of how they respond and how they make changes. And I definitely see, too, the pace of their practice is already a pace that is a successful level to work with. So that was really nice to see. Nice. And the girls are super eager to learn and work hard, which you can't train. So I love that.
That's awesome. So what do you look to achieve in your first year as the head coach at the University of New Haven?
Oh, wow. I definitely think there's an expectation to win the conference. That, to me, the girls made very clear, and I love hearing that. They right away said, we expect to win the conference. We expect to make the NCAA tournament, which I love. That's an expectation of mine, too, every year. And then they said they want to go further, though, and they're looking to try to pursue being in that Elite 8 and going as far as they can in the Elite 8. So that's definitely something that I'm going to do my best and work work as hard as I can to make sure that we can achieve that or put ourselves in the best position too.
Well, let's hope we can see that happen. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you.
That's all we have for you this week. To catch live game streaming of Charger Sports, visit newhavenchargers.com. And for up-to-date campus news, visit thechargerbulletin.com. I'm James.
I'm Devin.
I'm Chris.
I'm Ethan, and we'll catch you next week on
The Charge Up.